Hey guys, it's Becky with the good hair and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also click the bell because you want to make sure you're notified when I drop new videos because we never know when that's going to happen. So I wanted to do something that I've been very excited to make videos about. So I am currently nearing the end of my retail career. I am going to be releasing this after I'm done with retail. I work at a store. And I'm not gonna say what store, but I work in management in a clothing store. And I've worked there for a couple years and I just moved back from New Jersey to Wisconsin, so I ended up falling into retail and I worked my way into management. I wanted to share some of my retail horror stories and I'm so excited. So I'm probably gonna make this into a series, I think, but I wanted to kick it off and just do a couple and I'll share more later. So I wanted to share 3 different stories for you guys today just to kind of start off this series. And this is going to be a series where I'm going to be talking about my worst retail customers. I wanted to start it off with kind of some weird interactions that I've had. If you've worked in retail, you know the struggle and you know how much you learn about humanity and people and behavior and how awful people can be. I feel like this is going to be a little bit therapeutic for me just to get it all out there on the internet and just word vomit everything to you guys. I feel like I'm just going back to therapy and I'm like, oh my God, I get to just vent to you and you will make me feel better. The first story was last year and it was the holiday season. So if you work in retail, you know that holidays are pretty much the bane of our existence. The holidays bring out the worst people. They bring out a lot of people, obviously, because people are Christmas shopping, Hanukkah, whatever. It was, I believe, a weekend. Obviously, weekends are also usually pretty awful in retail because everybody's shopping. I was working over the weekend and it was a holiday season and it was just crazy busy, lines all the way back to where fitting rooms were. I was stuck up at the register. I remember I was ringing up customers and there was this woman who was shopping with her kids and I was helping her out too. I was kind of showing her things and I was kind of running for sizes for her and everything. And she was one of those customers where she was nice, but she was also super blunt and kind of rude. It was really confusing and bizarre. She would be saying to me, oh my God, you're awesome. But then all of a sudden she'd be super rude and say something else like, ugh, why don't you have this? And I'm like, because it's the Christmas season where we're selling things like crazy. Why are you being so rude? Well, she was very back and forth, being like, oh my God, you're awesome. And then all of a sudden, why don't you have this? So she was very back and forth and it was really weird. So I was helping her out and I was just very confused about what was going on, if she liked me or hated me. I don't know. Later on, I was checking people out and it was crazy busy, like I said, and this lady was in line, the one I'd been helping. I was ringing her up and she probably had a crap ton of stuff because it was Christmas, so she was buying a million things. And she was talking to me and saying, oh, you're awesome, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, she was like, are you in college? What are you doing? And I was like, what am I doing? What? And I was like, no, I'm not in college. I've already graduated. She was like, well, what are you doing? And I was like, what am I doing? I'm ringing you up for your stuff that you're buying. She was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she kept saying it like, what are you doing in life? And I was like, I'm in management here. She was like, oh, okay. She was just so mean, basically, where she was trying to kind of say like, why don't you get a real job? What are you doing here? What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? If you have a college degree, why are you working in retail? If you said that to everybody and they just immediately left and were like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go do something else, who do you think is gonna help sell you your clothes that you need? It was just so rude. I mean, you're really gonna judge a complete stranger? You don't know anything about me. I actually had a great team of people that I was working with and I'd gotten a promotion and I was just doing my thing. I don't see anything wrong with people taking steps and doing what they think is right at the time. I was so mad. I was so heated. I was like, I didn't even know how to react. And then it was also super embarrassing because, like I said before, there was a huge line of people right behind her because they're all like, oh my God, I gotta buy my stuff right now. And so everybody's like right behind her, itching to buy their stuff. So people could hear exactly what she was saying when she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You already graduated. What are you doing here? And I've seen her since and I just avoid her. I just don't even. I'm like, oh, I need to go over here. The second story I wanted to talk about was this woman who was also somewhat of a regular, like the first customer I talked about. And this woman she was actually really nice at first. She was really nice and she had her whole family shopping. And then I remember after this story that I'm going to tell you after it happened, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I kind of remember connecting the dots and realizing that I'm pretty sure it was one of her sons had, I think on more than one occasion, stepped through our store wearing a MAGA hat and wearing a Trump pen shirt where he was like decked out. So you might know where this is going. If you hear any weird noises, that's my cat who's not allowing me to make a video in silence. He has to just be really annoying and he's desperate for attention. So if you hear any weird noises, that's what that is. This lady who, like I said, she was nice, and then later on I connected the dots that her son was somehow a Trump supporter. So this lady was pretty nice and I was helping her out and everything. And then I went to ring up her stuff. My company that I was working for they had this collaboration that they were doing with a charity. So the charity helped LGBTQ youth who were homeless or disadvantaged, and it helped that community of people. During that time when there was this donation thing going on the pin pad when customers were checking out, there would be a message on the screen that would say, would you like to donate to this foundation? So we would always ask customers, oh, would you like to donate today? Most of them would just say no. And it was no big deal. This lady, who at first I thought was really nice, when I asked, oh, would you like to donate today? And she had clicked yes without really listening to what I said. She just automatically clicked yes. I think it was because she thought that it was hitting yes to get an email copy of her receipt maybe. She just was confused, not really paying attention, and she clicked yes. And I said, oh, how much would you like to donate today? And she said, wait a minute, what am I donating to? I said, oh, you're donating to this foundation. It helps the LGBT youth who are homeless and disadvantaged. She made this huge big deal when I said that. She was like, no, I do not want to donate to that. It's just my personal preference. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with that kind of stuff. No. I just do not condone that. I do not agree with that. And she just kept saying it over and over and over and over again, that I don't agree with that and I don't agree with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I just don't agree with that. She just kept repeating that over and over again. And in reality, I mean, if she was a hardcore homophobe, like clearly she was, all she had to do was say, oh, sorry, I actually don't want to donate. I accidentally clicked the wrong button. And it would have been no big deal. I wouldn't have known that she was a hardcore homophobe. All I would have thought was, oh, she just doesn't want to donate. Who cares? I would have just rung her up. She would have left the store and that's it. The end. She had to make this huge deal. She was so triggered that I said LGBTQ. And it was crazy because I thought she was just this nice woman. She seemed friendly. And then you realize, yeah, no, she's a homophobe. That was just a lesson that just because somebody seems nice, it doesn't mean they are. They could be just a hardcore raging homophobe. And you have no idea until the topic comes up and then they unleash their homophobia. So the third and last story that I want to share today just got me so heated. At the store that I currently work, it is within a mall. All the time, people would talk about how the mall was closing or the mall was gonna close. There were a lot of rumors and it was based on hearsay. It wasn't true. And because I worked there, I made sure to stay informed about everything that was happening in the mall. So I felt like I was pretty well informed on what was going on. I was kind of a nerd about it, where I would watch city council meetings and read every article that I could find on the internet. and I tried to stay well informed and up to date about what was happening with the mall. I felt like I knew my stuff, okay? These two older ladies came into the store, and they're actually repeat customers, and they do this, I guess, every time they come into our store. So they came in on a Saturday, and Saturdays, like I said, I mean, weekends are the worst, at least in my experience in retail. And these old ladies came in, and they were, first of all, they were being really annoying and ranting about how the fragrance they wanted was out of stock, and oh my God, oh, the world is ending because you can't have the one fragrance that you want that will restock later and you'll be able to get it later. Who cares? So they were already being annoying about that and being all snooty about that. After that, they said, isn't the mall closing? Aren't you guys closing? And I said, no, the mall isn't closing. We're not closing. And then they said, well, you know what? That's what they all say. There is a particular company, mainly in the Midwest, where they just closed all their stores not that long ago. They referenced that store. And so they said, well, you know what? We went into this store and we asked them if they were closing, and they said they weren't, and you know what? They closed. So you could be just telling us that you're not closing, and then you're gonna close. They said, you know, the mall is closing. We heard that the mall was closing. I, being the petty and snarky person that I am, even when I'm in retail, I try to craft it a little bit more carefully when I'm in retail, but I'm still snarky and petty nonetheless. I decided to come back and say, oh, the mall's closing? What article did you read that in? And they just said, well, we didn't read it in an article. We just heard it around. So I said something to the effect of, you didn't hear it in any sort of reputable resource? Because it would be breaking news all over the place in every news outlet that the mall is closing. So it's definitely not closing. I don't remember what the rest of the interaction was. I think they probably were just like, well, the mall's closing, it's gonna close. And then they left and of course didn't buy anything, I don't think. That was fun. We got people all the time where they would come in and they'd be checking out and they'd say, is the mall closing? No, it's not closing. Or they would say, oh, are you closing? No. Another thing, to these old ladies who came into our store, like you said, you went to a store that eventually did close. You asked them if they were closing and they said no. Why did they say no? Because number one, it's none of your business. You're some random rude lady asking them. Why would they tell you if they're closing? Why is it any of your business? You're just some random old lady who stumbled in and is probably not gonna buy anything. And you're gonna complain about the prices. You're not a great customer, so they're not gonna tell you. Sometimes employees are not notified about closings until like the last minute. These employees may not have even known that their store was gonna close. And you were just being hardcore rude to them and making them fear for the future of their jobs. So nice work. So those are my stories that I wanted to share for this video. And like I said, I think I'll probably do a video series where I share more. And I will also put links in my description to the Tales of Retail Reddit, because that is, oh, it's amazing. It's such a good Reddit. So you guys should check it out if you work for retail and you need to feel like you're with people who get it, you know, who get the retail struggle. I will talk to you guys in my next video. Be sure to comment with your retail stories if you have them, and I will see you guys in my next video. Be sure to subscribe and also click the bell because you'll be notified when I drop new videos. I will see you guys next time. Bye.